Live. Hi everybody, how you doing? Can you all hear me okay? Just checking I'm live. Can you hear me? Live. Yes, thanks Sean. Great, all right, so thank you so much again for coming back. I'm really enjoying these classes and getting to know my subscribers more. If you could let me know your breed of dog in the comments section, I'd be really interested to know. And how you found me as well, that'd be really interesting to know. It's good for my market research as well, to be honest. So yeah, if you could do that, let me know your breed of dog and how you found me. I'm assuming most of you are on YouTube. So we're going to talk about 4 things again today. That's been the method so far. 4 things, then afterwards I'm going to answer any of your questions. So any questions, please put them in the description box when you get a second, and I'll come to them and answer them as soon as possible. If I don't get time to answer them today, hugely apologize. Please come back tomorrow and try and get in there quicker next time. So 4 things that we're going to cover today. The first one is understanding how our behavior affects our dog's behavior. The second thing we're going to talk about is the effectiveness of the 3-strike rule, which we talked about on Monday and Tuesday probably, which is move the dog, ignore the dog gets it wrong, push the dog away, does it again, move the dog away, does it again, put the dog in another room. And the third is part of what we're going to talk about today is the subtleties of teaching. There's so many subtleties with everything. Again, with body language, with general communication, we can do real tiny subtleties, and that will get through, providing your dog understands who's doing what. And the 4th one is 7 tips on reactivity. And reactivity is anything from nervousness to aggression. Because if the dog's being reactive, it's reacting. That's the simple explanation of what reactivity is. So we've got German Shepherd here, Adriana found me on Google, German Shepherd, Cocker Spaniel, Lab Mix, Dachshund. We've got a Sluky Cross Greyhound, Welsh Terrier. God, what a mix. What a mix. Great. All right. So the first one, how our behavior affects our dog's behavior. So what we have to do with our dogs anytime we're doing anything is being calm, because if we're not calm, they're going to pick up on that, obviously. And if we're shouting, getting angry, they're going to pick up on that. So whatever you do, you've got to be almost stoic, and you've got to have a bit of a competition with your dog where you're thinking, go on, keep doing it. I'm never going to react. I'm never going to get angry. I'm never going to get upset. And if you carry on doing this, it's just not going to end well for you. So for example, if I'm just being totally calm and nonchalant and my dog's pulling on the lead, I'll just keep bringing the dog back. I don't even say a word. In the videos, people say often you come across really calm, and I didn't used to be like that. I used to be quite impulsive, and I used to get angry quite a lot. And dogs held up a mirror to me and said, if you're not going to be calm, we're not going to get this right, because I don't want to be around you. Or if you're not going to communicate clearly, I don't quite get it. So I actually had to learn all these behavioral qualities myself, and it actually had a massive effect on my behavior, because I ended up having to be calm and consistent and convincing all the time, which was an absolute blessing in disguise. So calm, convincing, consistent. If your behavior is not like that, you're naturally erratic, then that's going to affect the process. I had one client one time who she just expected everything to get done, and it was kind of like her life. She had a lot of money, and she had very rich parents, and she just thought, no, I want this to be done now. What can I do? And she just wanted to get, I think I was like the 5th trainer or something. And I really had to get into a psychology of understanding how she thinks someone else can do this for her. Because whilst I can teach a dog to have confidence in their environment and confidence in what they should be doing, if she's not going to adopt it, then nothing's going to happen. So she really had to learn, wait a minute, this is all on me. So really important lessons we can learn through, and life skills we can learn about being calm, consistent, convincing. The other thing on the subject of how your behavior affects the other people's, the dog's behavior, And the number one is guilt. I'd say if you're constantly feeling guilty, thinking your dog needs attention, thinking your dog needs a walk, thinking your dog needs all these things, without actually knowing what your dog needs, that can really drive the whole situation crazy. I've got so many clients with rescue dogs, and they feel so guilty that they're not getting enough love, or they've not had enough love in the past, and they fuss the dog so much, and the dog just has no idea what they want. And obviously, if we're like that with each other, like, oh my God, you're so amazing. I call it celebrity syndrome, where we're going to people, oh God, it's I'm trying to think of a celebrity at the moment. That's how much I'm into celebrities. Um, God, I cannot even think of one. Harrison Ford, what a bizarre one. Oh my God, it's Harrison Ford, it's Harrison Ford. What do you think Harrison's going to think of that person when someone says that to him? Is he going to think, oh, there's a person that I can get to do things, or is that a person that's on a level playing field? Just by nature of going, oh, it's you, straight away someone's not really on the same level as you. And I love my dog so much, but I don't feel guilty. I know I fulfill his needs. I take him out. I exercise him. I give him love. I give him affection. But there's times where I haven't got time for him, and he knows that, and he's got to know that. But if I kept feeling guilty about what he's not getting all the time, that would then knock onto my behaviors, and then that would knock onto his behavior. So really try and think about how you can be calm, convincing, consistent, not feel guilt, because you're on here trying to find out more information, bless you, to perfect your relationship with your dog. So there's probably nothing guilty you should feel about. You're genuinely trying. So I'm very sure you're getting it right. What we actually have to do is go the other way, is actually less taking you out to all the places that you really like because your behavior's not right, or less attention and fussing because you keep coming back for more all the time. Things have got to be when you decide. So really, also some people aren't assertive enough, and that I meet clients that they're just not assertive enough with people, and obviously they're not like that with their dogs. I'm not talking about assertive like shouting or being hurtful or anything like that. Of course not. But just, no, I mean it. This isn't happening. Or if someone's trying to get you to do things and you don't want to do them, you've got to learn those skills to be assertive enough to stand your ground with people. So with people and dogs, there's so many comparisons that we can draw. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the effectiveness of the 3-strike rule. So as mentioned earlier, the 3-strike rule is if the dog's doing something you don't want, you push them away. You can say no, don't do that, that's fine. But when you do that, they can do it more because they're getting your attention. So I actually just completely ignore my dog if he's doing something I don't want. If he carries on doing it, I'll go and take him by the collar and gently lead him away. If you've got a dog that bites, for example, you might not be able to do that. So you then might have to have him on a harness and to grab a lead and move the dog away. And if the dog does it again, then you isolate and just put the dog in the room for 5 seconds, let them think about what just happened, and then let them back out again. They do it again, they're back in for 10 seconds, and then they start joining the dots. Wait a minute, every time I do that, I end up in there. And this becomes the brilliantness of this is you don't control the dog, you teach the dog self-control. And self-control is so much more powerful than controlling a dog. When a dog can try and figure out where his behavior is getting him or her, and then just stop on their own free will, that's so much better than get off the couch, don't do that, because you'll stop them in that one moment, but you won't stop them thinking, right, that's what happens, therefore I'm not going to do that. So self-control is the best form of control. I'll give you an example of this. I remember my dog was absolutely fine. He wouldn't ever take any food in the house. He wouldn't dream of it. But if I walked out the door, he'd probably think it was fair game. So and sometimes a client phones me during lunch or something. So I've got to take a phone call, walk away, and I'll take the phone call and speak to my client. And after 5 minutes or so, my dog might get a little bit curious and come over and steal the sandwich. So I used to go in the other room, and I used to have a camera there. And anytime he'd then go for that sandwich, I'd run back in there and I'd be like, move him away. And then I'd go back out again. And this time he wouldn't do it after 5 minutes. He might go after about 10 minutes. Okay, is it the same thing? I only had to do 2 lessons. And then he understood never to do it again. Now I could leave for an hour and he wouldn't do it because he knows, wait a minute, Nigel could come out of here any second. And that's quite a scary concept. So He didn't do that. Well, he doesn't do it anymore. So 3-stroke rule, the effectiveness is pretty much for everything. So if the dog jumps up on you, 3-stroke rule. The dog jumps up on visitors, 3-stroke rule. The dog's chewing something you don't want them to chew, the 3-stroke rule. The dog's, what else could they be doing? The dog's jumping on the couch, 3-stroke rule. So it's just showing the dog where their behaviors get them, and they just learn the consistency. And as you show them the 3-stroke rule, they get confidence in what they should be doing and confidence in you as a leader. So boundaries is such a good thing to teach a dog. And all dog training methods, one thing we should all have in common is that we set boundaries. And it's not unreasonable boundaries. It's just boundaries around food times. It's boundaries around taking care of danger. So, for example, if I'm taking care of danger, there's a big boundary between me and whatever my dog's scared about, and I'm in between it. And then my dog tries to get in between that boundary. I'm like, what are you doing? Or I'm eating. Your dogs probably don't come up in between you when it comes to food because they know that boundary. You've probably put lessons in. When it comes to security, the dog looks at things as more urgent and goes, no, I've really got to take care of this. And when you're trying to move the dog back, the dog keeps coming back because, no, you should be doing this. I should be doing this. And that's why, again, why you'll see the repetition of me showing and showing and showing. And the dog often weighs it up and go, oh, I can't get past him. It's not ending well for me. Maybe I'll stop doing this. So the 3-stroke rule is for so many things. Outside, you haven't got move away. Isolate. So you've got move away further. So if my dog's playing really roughly with another dog, not that he does, but if he did, I would intervene. I'd move him away for a bit, let his state calm, and then I'd let him go back out and play with the other dog. If his state went up a little bit more, I'd come in and I'd take him away further, march him away, and then I'd let him back again. Does it again, I'd take him away further. So he realizes, wait a minute, this just isn't working. And then he goes, okay, what can I do? How can I play with this other dog and it not get stopped because I'm actually having fun? So he'll then, again, use self-control and he'll work it out themselves. So first one we talked about was how our behavior affects a dog's behavior. Very important. The second was the effectiveness of the 3-stroke rule. Very effective, brilliant for everything, pretty much. Words are fine as long as they mean something. And if you're the person of 1,000 threats, the dog's not going to take you seriously. So actions more than talk. And the third principle we're going to talk about is the subtleties of teaching. So I talked yesterday about dogs that don't seem like they're getting it. And they are they can be really frustrating. So, but there's another element to that. And what I do is I recreate the same lessons all the time. So if it's a bit too overwhelming for the dog, for example, like you add an element to it that you're teaching a dog to walk to heel and you're out on a street and then there's cars going past, there's dogs going past, there's planes going past, you're trying to say stop heel and all that sort of stuff, and the dog's just way overstimulated. Well, I'm just trying to recreate the exact same lesson. So if my dog pulled because someone said hello to him, I would stop on the lead, I'd bring him back and I'd say, would you mind saying hello to him again? And I'll walk on. And the person says hello to the dog again. The dog pulls. I'll go, no. Hello. So someone saying hello doesn't mean you pull. We're already walking that direction. You never pull me on the lead. Or if I've got someone coming to the door and they come in, they go, hi, like that, and say hello to me. And the dog jumps up. I'll take the dog by the collar, maybe put the dog in another room or move the dog away. And then I'll ask when I let the dog out or the dog comes back, I'll say hi again like that. Or I'll even go out the door, knock on the door and go back in again, say hi. And I'll just keep recreating that same lesson until it's done. And once I've got that bit done, I'll look at that as stage 1, tick, complete. And then I'll go to stage 2, which might be the person comes and sits down on the sofa. And then the person comes and sits down on the sofa. The dog thinks, wait a minute, that's the call for me to jump on someone. I'll be like, no, it's not. Boom, in another room. Think about that for a second. And I'll go right back to stage 1. Hi, come in, sit on the couch. You'll see the dog thinking about it. This is the brillianceness about this. I don't even know that's a word, actually. That you can really see the cogs turning of the dog going, okay, where does this behavior get me? Shall I jump on that person? I might end up in the bathroom. Maybe I'll think twice about that. And obviously you keep doing it, keep recreating the same situation, the dog will get it. But if you don't recreate the same situation. You go on too far, whatever it is, whether it's with danger, whether it's with pulling on the lead, whether it's with recall. If you go too far and don't get the lessons in solid because you've really made the dog understand what it should be doing before you go to that next step, then the dog just doesn't quite know where they are and quite what they're doing, and it makes it harder for them. Whereas what I'm doing is it makes it really easy for them. It's a very simple concept for the dog to get without adding too much information or too many worries. Again, outside with so many dogs and people and trying to teach them to walk to heel there, forget it. Get it perfect inside the house first. Get it perfect in the garden. And even in the house, you might get a dog pulling to go from one side of the kitchen to the other. If that's the case, go, right, we're just going to try and get to this 2 meters. They get it wrong, recreate the same lesson again and again and again until the dog's completely got it. So yes, recreating the exact same lesson. I do it with everything. And it's all about foundations, really. So strong foundations inside the house, moving forward, you'll get a great result. So let's put some of that information together. So let's say you've got a dog that goes for picnics outside. Well, what I'd be doing is I would be sitting on the floor eating food, thinking to my dog, come on, get in my space. I want you to get in my space. And the dog gets in my space, right, I'll push away, I'll move away or isolate. And then once he understands not to get into my space when I'm on the floor, I'll ask my partner to come in, sit down, and she eats. And we're both on the floor. Dog gets in the space. Again, repeat, repeat, repeat. And then I might get more people. Then when I get to the picnic, the parks, where there's people picnicking, don't be surprised if your dog already knows not to do it because he already knows what to do in the house. Again, a child analogy. How do you know your children be well behaved at a restaurant table? Because you spend so many years teaching them manners at the dinner table at home. So if they know what's expected of them at home, they're going to know what's expected for them outside. So strong foundations, recreate the same lessons, get it perfect, know what you're trying to achieve, get it and go, right, got it. And just break every one of your problem behaviors down into these little checkpoints. This is what I try and do with everything. And I must admit, I'm very good at doing that now. I've done it for that many years. I'm like, right, what are the situations here? What's scaring the dog? How can we recreate the situation? Dog seems a bit upset about this. How can we pull it back and do a situation they're more comfortable in? Because if they're too close, they're not going to take the information in. If they're scared, they're never going to stop coming back. If you fear for your life, doesn't matter what I say, it's not going to help you. So, but if I take you away from the situation or show you that I'm going to protect you and it's not too overwhelming, you might get it. But if the situation looks too overwhelming, like 10 people wanting to harm you, then you know a freeze ain't going to do it. Flight, I'm going to have to get you out of there. So, yeah, adapt. Adapt is so important. Right, now we're going to go on to 7 tips to deal with reactivity, because every day I'm getting questions on reactivity. So any of your comments, I hope this is going to help. So the first tip is don't worry what people think. I know when you're outside and your dog's barking, I know how stressful that is for you. And it probably really gets you down when you come home and you're probably feeling really upset. And I totally empathize with your situation. But if I can help at all by saying, just don't worry about it. Who cares what they think? You've just got a goal and these people aren't getting you away. You're never going to see them again. Who cares what they think? So they can judge, they can give you a filthy look, they can do whatever they want. I just do not care. I've got into that habit recently of driving the car and someone's wanting me to go faster. I end up slowing down. I'm that belligerent when it comes to what other people want you to do. If you're doing something, if you're doing the right thing, which you are, trying to train your dog and trying to do the right thing, then do not worry about what the people think. And there's a saying, those who judge do not understand, and those who understand do not judge. So if they are judging you, they don't understand the situation. If they had a badly behaved dog or an anxious dog, they would know, but they don't know. So forget about them. The second thing is create a compelling future, because I guarantee the behaviors can be sorted. I guarantee it. It's just the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and you're always capable of taking that first step. So people who run a marathon, for example, you could have like 25 people who used to be 25 stone. They could eventually run a marathon. Now their journey is not as easy to run a journey as say you or me, because our journey isn't about losing 12 stone before you even try it. So you can my point being is you can always get to that next step. So whatever step you're at, know that you can take one step forward. But if you're trying to think about how to get to stage from 1 to 20, it's overwhelming. If you can think about how to get to 1 to 2, it's not overwhelming. But I guarantee you, just think about, just think what would it be like to go for a walk with a beautifully but well-behaved dog, and for it to come back to you every time you call it, and to walk perfectly to heel, and to be socially acceptable with other dogs. It would be brilliant, right? And that's what we all want. And we can get there. We've just got to break it down into steps, know what those steps are, get all the information, and start going forward each day. The third point of, or the third tip of 7 tips to deal with reactivity, is provide a safe environment for a dog every day. Now, if a dog's not got a safe environment inside the house or outside the house, doesn't feel safe, it's going to panic. So, and when the stress levels goes up, it can take days for it to calm down again. So what we're trying to do is just have rest. You want that dog to feel absolutely rested, so calm all day, every day, so those stress levels are just being managed. And then when you take the dog out, let's say that they're reactive way out there at the park, well, just get them used to going for walks where they might see a dog from 50 meters away and you're back inside the house. So the whole trip was you went out and you were back in again before you even panicked. And then once you've done that, then you can get a little bit closer. But if you can just be patient, that could be an 8th tip, really. Be patient with them, because it's just about building their confidence every day, and confidence doesn't happen very quickly. I mean, that German Shepherd video, I was very lucky to get that one on video, actually, because I worked with some dogs. I've got another case I worked with on video, and it took me 40 days, and I only got halfway with that dog. And it was, it's so expensive getting a cameraman in. So sometimes it takes a long time if the confidence is really low and they're really struggling. The German Shepherd was only 10 days, actually. And I was lucky to get that transformation. The other one is, the 4th tip of 7 tips on how to deal with reactivity is seek help. Be resourceful. You ask friends to help. So if a friend's there with another dog, for example, and you're trying to get closer to that other dog, well, if they just stand there, then you can keep recreating the same lesson. Perfect. The dog's not lunging, the dog's not moving, and get the best dog for it. Obviously, don't get a dog that's really excitable when setting your dog off, because that's not going to help at all. Rather, get a dog that's really well behaved. The kind of dog you want is the dog that just kind of turns around and is not paying any attention to you at all. So I'm always trying to find those dogs, and when I see them, I go, I'm resourceful. I'll go and speak to the owners and say, "Oh, do you mind if if you could put your dog on a lead and I could just walk past?" And if you're resourceful with it, you'll get there quicker. And because I was getting paid to do this job with other people, I had to get resourceful because I had to get results. Whereas there's not as much pressure with you because you're not getting paid, I'm assuming, and you haven't got the pressure. But put a little bit of pressure on yourself. Say, right, I want this done by, I don't know, let's say October, November, whatever, and I'm going to get 6 people to help me, 2 people a week. I'm going to set up these lessons. The National Trust, for example, is a great place to go because dogs are supposed to be on lead. So think about signing up to National Trust and find out what areas people have dogs and for dogs to be on lead. So that's another way you can manage a dog's environment for them to feel safe. Because if dogs are on lead, and you can see everything, they can't get too close to you. Whereas the dogs that pop out the corner, oh God, and I've been there, it's impossible to manage the environment perfectly, but there's things you can do. Seek help, be resourceful. If I see a dog tied up outside a shop, I'm quite resourceful. I think, right, I'm walking down on the opposite side of the street. My dog's pulling a little bit. I'm going to take him back again, calm him down, and say, let's try and walk past again. He pulls, come on, let's do that again. And eventually I'll be able to walk past, and he'll go back past that dog in a calm state. And I'll be like, yes, did it. And now he's just related being calm to walking past another dog. And that's a neuron pathway he's gone in his brain, and he's gone, bing, I got that. Okay. And then I'd be trying to find the next dog and the next dog. And I'd just be trying to set up all these lessons where they're all really positive for the dog and they're all really good. So the 5th tip to deal with reactivity is get information. Well, you're doing that now. You're trying to get information. You may need more information than mine, so you may need to seek a trainer to come and see you. You may need to read books. You may need to watch videos. You may need to do online courses. Whatever you do, just think, right, I'm going to get this much information. I'm gonna take action, because it's quite a depressing thing to have a reactive dog. So many have got it, and it is upsetting. The sixth one is understand your goal. Understand what you're trying to achieve. And what you're trying to achieve each day is, well, I'm trying to get closer to there. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get from there to there without the dog barking. So I'm not going to go past that until I've got it. But if the dog's struggling, then your goal's got to be there. And every day, that's got to be your goal before you move forward. And you've got to get that goal, get insecure, know what you're trying to achieve. That's my point. Know what you're trying to achieve every day. Don't just go out for a walk and go, right, we're just going for a walk today. No, I'm going out every day to boost my dog's confidence in his environment, in me as a leader, and what he should be doing. And if his confidence is low in every of those areas, that's my goal. If my dog's confidence is high in all those areas, so my goal is just to go out and exercise a dog. But if it's low, that's my goal. And a seventh thing is be tenacious, be relentless. Don't stop. Don't stop what you're trying to achieve. Be thinking, right, we're going to do this, because I know how much you love your dog. I know how much you care, and it's upsetting for you. So think, it's all about taking action and going, right, what are we going to do? Let's absolutely nail this situation. So, sorry, that was a little bit longer than what I thought. So let's go through these quickly. Sorry. Hopefully you're going to join me tomorrow, and whoever's questions I don't answer, maybe I'll go 3 or 4 minutes over today, but please come back tomorrow, and I will answer your questions if you get in there quick enough. I think try and get in there 5 minutes before and put your question. So Deborah says, my dog barks and lunges when I switch on a lamp, chases lights and shadows on the wall. Can I desensitize him? Sadly, someone made a game of chasing a flashlight. Sorry, my mouse thing was on there. And since then, it's been a huge problem. Oh my God, Deborah, you must be cursing the person that did that. It's relatively easy, actually. So I remember doing this with a little Jack Russell Terrier that would freak out when I opened the dishwasher, because the light would sparkle on the knives and it'd go on the ceiling, and the light would shine on the wall when the dog would just be in an absolute frenzy. And I just quickly got the dog, put the dog in the other room, got them calm, opened the door, and went and stood by that light again. But I made sure the light was still. If the light's bouncing around again, it freaks out the dog too much. So I just kept doing it with the still light. And eventually then I started moving the light around, and only really slowly. Dog got involved, dog was out again. And the dog just thought, okay, I'm just going to sit there and watch it. But it's almost like they just get in this scenario where they go on autopilot, like they do when they're chasing. Oh my God, I've got to get that. There's no conscious thought. And then that becomes a pattern of their behavior. So we've got to get out of that pattern of behavior. And what they're going to realize is every time they go for a light, they're out. So they keep going for that light, they're out. And then you repeat. Hopefully that helps, Deborah. Thank you for tuning in. Nathan, hi Nathan. My Staffy is unpredictable. He was being fussed over by the neighbor for 30 seconds before suddenly barking, growling. It's tricky to therefore know what proactive actions to take. So let's say, Nathan, he's not actually happy with people stroking him at the moment. Let's say that let's go back, let's pull it back a bit. Let's go, right, what I'd like you to do now is anytime anybody greets them, you have a conversation with them for 30 seconds. Then once you've had a conversation for 30 seconds, then the neighbor, whoever, calls them over. So already your dog's seen you stand in front, seen you deal with the neighbor. Your neighbor calls the dog over, doesn't get in his space, never gets in his space. Neighbor calls him over. Rather than 30 seconds, it's just a 5 seconds. Hello, mate, darling. What a gorgeous dog you are. And on the chest, not over the head, on the chest. Maybe even get him to give him a treat. And then once you've done that for 5 seconds with 10 different people, bounce it up to 10 seconds. And then 15, and then 20. So anytime you get unpredictable behavior, it's because they feel a bit apprehensive. Bring it down a level, build it back out again. Also, Nathan says, how would you suggest making vaccination time less traumatic? Usually both of us hold his head. Those two things play in with one another, really. So if he's not happy with someone stroking him, he's certainly not going to be happy with vaccinations. So you would actually build up to getting those vaccinations properly if you could build it up in stages, like I suggested. So after, let's say you get to 20 seconds, the person's stroking them, then 30 seconds, you find out he's not going for them now, then it might be 30 seconds and a little bit more friendly. So you build everything up. Think about the vet grabbing him is stage 100. Somebody calling him over for 1 second is stage 1. Let's go from stage 1 to 99. See you tomorrow, Lauren. Patricia, hi Patricia. I have a Welsh Terrier. He's almost 2 years old. Oh yes, of course. I have a 2-year-old German Shepherd. I found you via the reactive. Yes, these are all. Yes, I read these out today. Michelle from Preston. I bought the book. Thank you. Cocker Spaniel. Heard of you for reviews in your book. Thanks, Lee. Grace Lee, we're chatting tomorrow. Thanks for telling me your breed. Gracilla, sorry, is done my course and should do my Skype call tomorrow. Jean, hi Jean, standard 2, Lenka. Okay, I think that's. Oh, here's a question from Sylvia. I have 2 dogs. One lunges at other dogs and barks at barks to people and other dogs. How do I manage the distance? And it's it's. Have I been disconnected here? I think I might be disconnected. I think I might be disconnected for 2 seconds there. Sorry if I was. Yeah, there's not much you can do apart from get out of that situation as quickly as possible. So sometimes when you live on a busy street, I'll have a dog. My dog used to live on a busy street, and he used to freak out on this busy street. This is one my girlfriend got him from Battersea Dogs Home, rescue dog. And I used to pick him up and take him off that busy street. So in your case, you're just trying to get out there as quickly as possible. You can't really manage it. All you're trying to do is get out of there and then teach him somewhere he feels more comfortable. And then when he's got that in a more comfortable place, you get a bit closer. So your house is like one of the highest stages, and that's one of the first stages you've got to do, which is a right nightmare. But the only way you can do it is get him out of the situation. So thank you so much again for attending. Really great to chat to you. I'm loving these conversations. I'm loving helping you in some way. So if I've helped you, let me know how, or these are helping you. Let me know how these are helping you. Please tune in tomorrow. We will be doing another half an hour. I'm not sure of the topics yet. I'll pick 4 topics, but it's always tips to get a very well-behaved dog. So it's on those lines. It's just all the different elements of it. And if you look down in the description box, I'm doing the deal again with the online courses, which involves like 4 hours of videos. So if you like my videos, there's 4 hours of videos of me working with dogs, going through the whole process from the beginning to the absolute end. And there's questions, there's checkpoints of each stage of how to do it, really breaking down. This is all with reactivity and danger. I will be doing other courses on other subjects soon, but I've just got the reactivity one at the moment. And afterwards, we have a Skype call so we can really chat about your unique situation in detail. Once the 2 tickets are gone, for the cheaper ones, it goes back to 150. So go back to the next link. And yeah, if you've got a reactive dog, or you want to know more about dog behavior, look in the description box for details of my book and other things. All right. Well, thank you again. I'm loving this. I'm loving getting to know you. Melissa says I've got a Carpathian Shepherd, beautiful dog, a mini white-haired dachshund, really excitable, no impulse control. I've got to do a video on that, Joan. Actually, impulse control, such an important video. And we need impulse control in every scenario. Right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you, all you guys. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Press the red button to be notified to when the video comes out, and we'll speak again. Okay, take care. Bye.